Much love everyone and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be talking about 5 things you should know before starting your locks. If you're new with me here today, just so you know, I've had my locks for about 15 months and I started them and maintained them, and then I started and maintained my daughter's locks for 5 years. So if you want to hear these 5 tips, please stay tuned. As always, like this video if you like this video and subscribe if you haven't already. All right, let's do it. Okay, so let's jump right in. The first one is there is no ugly stage. I put this as number 1 because it's something that, I'm hearing people say quite a bit and a lot, and reading things about this ugly stage, and if you only get through the ugly stage then it'll be great. But there is no ugly stage. If you are not an ugly person, then there is no ugly stage. Your hair is beautiful in all stages. It's going to go through a lot of different stages and things as it's locking, just as a person does, and none of that is ugly. I do think this comes from maybe someone who has never had their hair natural before, and I could be wrong, but I think a lot of it comes from there. So maybe you're not used to seeing your hair in its natural stage. Maybe you're not used to the kinks and coils and how it kind of does its own thing, and sometimes hair grows up. Our hair grows up, it does not grow down until a certain length. So maybe if you're not used to that, then to you that is ugly. To me, I embrace it all. You're gonna hear this theme throughout these things I'm telling you you should know before you lock, is to embrace it. If you embrace that stage when things are getting a little different for you, getting a little bit uncomfortable, because it will be if you have not seen your hair like that before, if you have not been natural, if you have not locked before, it can be uncomfortable. If you embrace that and work with it, there's no ugly stage. It's not ugly. Do kind of allow your hair to show you what styles to rock, show you what to do. Let it alone and embrace it. That's number 1. There is no ugly stage. The second thing you should know goes along with that first one, is that your hair is going to go through stages. So if you start to see your hair swell, if you start to see your hair looking a little bit, choppy, not uniform, if you start to see your hair look frizzier than usual, I'm actually going to talk about frizzy locks in a whole other video that will be coming up. But if you start to see those things, don't think this is how my hair is going to be for the remainder. Your hair changes quite a bit, especially in that first year. So just know before you start locking, you're going to go through those changes. There's no getting around it. Unless you do, I think they call them like instant locks or quick locks, where it's, locked up purposely. Unless you do that, there's no getting around it. So just go into locking with that mindset. My hair is going to go through these different stages, just so I know. And you can look them up. I don't memorize them or anything. There's swelling, maturation, all the different things, and definitely do look them up. If that's something you're concerned about, I just kind of let mine do their thing, whatever you want to call that or label it. I let my daughters do their thing, whatever you want to call that or label it. But yes, your hair, number 2, that your hair is going to go through different stages as it's locking. The third thing you should know is that locks are very versatile. If you're going into this thing like, okay, this is it, now I'm going to have locks, and that's all I'm going to have for the remainder of my loc journey, or for the rest of my life, or however long you think you're going to grow your locks, then that is the wrong mindset to have. Locks are incredibly versatile. Any styles you think of that you can have without locks, you can pretty much tweak that and change that to have with your locks. I just did a video on curling my locks. I curled my locks using rags at home. I'm still rocking my curls. They have loosened up. It's been like 3 days. They're a little bit looser than they were at first. But I mean, you guys, you can rock curls if you like. You can rock twist outs, braid outs. You can rock updos. And this is coming from a person like with no hairstyle or very little hairstyle. I'm not a person who styles my hair on the daily, but if you're a person who, you know, is really good at that and really trying different stuff and you enjoy that, please do not think that's going to end. Do not go into it like, okay, I'm locking now, this is done. Use that as an opportunity actually to rock the styles you used to love, rock them in locks, you know, and really do it up. So that is actually I'm wearing more styles now than I did before. So there's that. That is what you should know before locking your hair. That locks are very versatile. The fourth thing I want you to know is that you do not have to cut your hair. I do see some people saying, you know, oh, I have to cut my hair before my loc journey. You know, I cut it all off and then I started. That can be a process for some people. Maybe that is the way they want to do it and want to step into it, and that's beautiful. But just know that you do not have to. I wound up in my loc journey by cutting my hair, but that was not my plan. I cut my hair for other reasons and then, you know, wound up locking from there. But you do not have to, whether you have shoulder length, longer than that, you can start locking from there. My daughter had quite a bit long hair, I want to say past shoulders when we started with hers, and we just locked from there. Things will be different for you, obviously. And if you are going into something like micro locks or sister locks, and I'm not well versed on that. I do not know, but I do know if you're having someone do it for you, it will cost you more. So perhaps that is the reason why people want to cut their hair as well, because they're having someone else start them for them. And in that case, you may want to cut if you want to save money. But just know that you can do them yourself. If you want to do the research and jump in, I'll put the link above how I started mine simply with 2-strand twists. Then you do not have to cut your hair. So just know that you don't have to go all the way short to start. There will be some shrinkage and things of that nature, but you don't have to cut your hair to start locking. And the last thing I want you to know as you start your loc journey, before you start your loc journey, to me, this one is just as important as the first one that I was talking about. I sort of flanked them with my main points, and that is locking your hair will take you on a journey. Now that is why people call it a loc journey. You're going to get something out of it other than locking your hair. And that's even if you're not trying. For me, I was not going into it like, oh, this is a spiritual thing. This is a, something I'm trying to do other than to give myself back some time. But that's still part of the journey, that getting back that time and that freedom. So what it brought for me was freedom, right? Now, I do know some people who lock their hair and it becomes a whole other part-time job for them, getting their retwist, trying multiple products, staying on their tightening, just worrying themselves. Are they in the right stage? Are things going the right way? That you will not find freedom in that. You'll probably find a lot of stress and be more likely to not continue your loc journey and decide it's not for you. It will bring you freedom if you let it. If you let your hair do its thing and you relax and you enjoy the different stages it's going in, it can bring so much freedom. For me, it's brought me freedom and time. I was spending a lot of time detangling and planning my wash days as a natural. And so now I truly wake up and go, wash and go, style and go. It's just brought so much freedom. So you will get something out of it, whether you're planning to or not. And for you, that could be a spiritual thing. That could be self-love. I know a lot of people have never seen their hair in the natural state before they start locking. So you're going to experience that. That's going to be deep. And so yours might be self-love. Yours might be time or, freedom like mine. Yours might be realizations about people around you, and the people in your life. Are they supporters? Are they not? Your journey is your own, but you're going to get something out of it. So just know before locking that they call it a loc journey for a reason. Okay, you guys, that is it. That is what I want you to know. Please do share with me below. Where are you in your thought process, in your journey? Have you started yet? Are you thinking about it? Let me know if you have any questions as always, and I'll try to answer that the best I can. Coming up, actually I already did post my how to curl your locks video, so I will link that somewhere in this video. I think I mentioned it before. I also have some things I want to try for my locks, like some aloe straight from the plant instead of my aloe gel, and some tea rinses, because that's something I used to do as a natural and I thought I might incorporate it now that I'm locked. If there's anything you want to see from me, please do let me know below as well, and I'll try to do a video about that if it's something that I know about. And that's it for today. Like this video if you like this video. Subscribe if you haven't already. Thank you so much for joining me if you're already subscribed. And I will see you next time. All right, bye.